Yes, here we go. I'm delighted. We've got everyone's favourite assistant manager, Billy Brown. Thanks for coming on, mate.
No problem at all. It's a pleasure, actually.
And we're here at Musselburgh, your first love. Your mum and dad used to wash the kits here as well, I heard.
They did, and me and my wife and the two bairns used to weed the terrace and everything here. I learnt more about football here than I did the other clubs I'd been at.
Really?
Yeah, I found out how to run a football club, you know, how to handle people, and it was a miracle that the club kept going. You know, we used to sell tickets every month and things like that. But it was great, and I was here for a long time and enjoyed every minute of it.
Brilliant. What do you learn at the juniors? Was there a few rough times at the juniors?
Yeah, well, I mean, I tried to go about the job the same as I would have went about a senior job, you know, being as professional as I can. All the boys worked hard. I made sure that everybody wanted to play for the team and were fit enough to play for the team. And I had a lot of good players here, you know.
So, but was it fags at half time and stuff like that, or is that a myth for the juniors?
No, that I've seen anyway, unless they went out to the toilet. I had one at the back. But no, very, very professional. You know, I made sure that the club here was professional and run on the right grounds, and we had some good players here. A lot of them went senior and things like that.
I'll tell you, loved the fag. He told us in the interview, Stevie Fulton.
Stevie did, Stevie. He never did it when Jim and I was there, I've got to say, but I knew you could smell it off him sometimes. But it didn't inhibit his ability. It maybe inhibited his fitness a wee bit, but no his ability. He was a great player. Stevie Fulton should have played for Real Madrid. He had enough ability to do that. It was great. Wow.
Right, on the opposite scale, one of the worst players, Kevin Kyle. Give him a bit, because I try to get Jim Jeffries to slot him, but Jim's too nice. But go on, give Kev a bit. He's a big part of the show.
Yeah, it was great, Kevin. It was great. It was never good as he thought he was, you know.
Yes.
Because if he had been good as he thought he was, we couldn't have lived with him at all. But he was smashing. You know, he'll always be remembered at the Hearts for scoring the winner against Hibs in the last minute at Tynecastle. But he was a smashing boy to have around the place. One of the problems with Kev was his brain and his mouth weren't connected sometimes. You know,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it was, and they used to say things they shouldn't have said. But on the whole, it was great to have. He's a smashing big fella, and it was a pleasure to be with.
Brilliant. Right, I need to ask you a favour. See, if I make an arse of this, I want you to slaughter us, because I'd love to be on the receiving end of a Billy Brown rant.
Yeah.
You got a particular favourite?
What's that?
Have you got a particular favourite rant that you had at a play?
No, it didn't happen all the time, you know.
Right.
It only happens when things are going bad, or if I thought that somebody wasn't doing what they should be doing. You know, I was a stickler for boys being enthusiastic. Massive. You know, you have to be enthusiastic. I mean, I'm not saying I was the best coach in the world, but I was one of the most enthusiastic ones, and I liked that for the players. And I used to hate players that looked like they couldn't care, and that's when I went off on a tangent. But you know, sometimes I used to think when I was driving home in the car, what an arsehole. You know, really. And I remember once when we were at Bradford, I had a sort of set to Ashley Ward at half time. Now, Ashley Ward's a big lad, he was 6'3" or something, and I had him at half time up against the wall. And I was driving home the Saturday night, I thought, he could have killed me there. You know. But you don't think about that at the time. You don't think about that. But I mean, you know, I hope I'm not remembered just for that. You know, I did have one or two rants. I had the one at East Fife.
Oh, we'll come to that in a bit. That was tremendous.
But in the dressing room, you know, I did the team talks in the dressing room, and you know, I liked to make sure everybody knew what they were doing, and everybody did. I think in the whole, I tried to be as much a human being with the players as I could. You know, if you treat players good, you know. Jim and I had a policy, you know, people asked why we lasted so long. We lasted so long because we got rid of the arseholes. Simple as that. If you get rid of the boys,
simple as that.
You get rid of the boys that cause you problems in the dressing room, didn't do it every week on the pitch. They're usually no bad players, these type. Get rid of them, because they'll let you down somewhere along the line.
Great advice, love it. Well, every person that comes on glowing reports about you, love you. So we're going to go back to the start. Your mum and dad, your mum didn't want you to get into football, did she? She wanted you to go and work on the buses, is that right?
No, at the time, what she did, the time she wanted me to work in the buses, it's when I left Hearts. And because when Hearts trained down here at Musselburgh, I got them a train at Pinkie, and I used to take a paper into her house every morning. And she loved that. But when I left Hearts, I was going to Bradford. And she says, what are you going to Bradford for? I says, well, Mum, it's the Premiership in England. Could you not get a job on the buses or something? This is because I wasn't taking her paper up there every morning. That's all that was. But no, I mean, she was great. My mum and dad were great. Really,
you grew up a Hibs fan, Billy, didn't you?
Who told you that? Well, you know, I used to go to Easter Road in Tynecastle week about, and I still do. I take my grandson to Tynecastle one week and Easter Road the next. One of the reasons that I used to go more to Easter Road, the goalkeeper at the time, Willie Wilson, who became our goalie coach at Falkirk, he used to give me and my dad free tickets. So that enticed me to lean towards the Hibs a wee bit at that time. But
so
now,
is it a split family you've got here? Is your family half Hearts, half Hibs?
Yeah, they are. Well, I've got 3 sisters, you see.
Right.
But they're mostly...
Can I get their numbers?
Oh, they're getting a wee bit older. They're too old for you now, Simon, I think. But you never know.
So, right, you and Jim started obviously taking an assistant manager role with Jim. How did he entice you in? Were you always big pals? Was it childhood friends?
Well, Jim and I were in the same class at the school, Musselburgh Grammar, just across the road there.
Was he thick as shit?
We weren't in the brainy class, put it that way. You know, we were in the, I think we were in the football class. And we had a really good, in fact, 5 of our school team become senior professionals. You know, and which is a great achievement. But that's how I got to know Jim, and we played together. And obviously, I left when we left school and went to Hull, and Jim signed for the Hearts. But we're always in touch with each other. We're good pals, and you know, when he got the Berwick job, he got Lindsay Muir, who played with the Hibs. Lindsay went with him, and I went as well. And we hit off right away, really.
And was it always in your mind to be an assistant, or did you want to be the number one?
No, well, I was the manager here for a number of years, you know. But when you get a chance to go up, you've got to realise that Jim, the only reason we got there is because Jim got offered the manager's job. Yeah. So I was happy to be the assistant manager. You know, Lindsay Muir was there as well, but Lindsay, you know, drifted away, and I become the assistant to Jim there. And
Lindsay must be kicking himself.
Yeah, he probably was. He was a great lad, Lindsay. He played with the Hibs and that. He was a great lad, but I think Jim and I gelled as a partnership, you know.
What was the key of getting, like, see, at part-time level, what did you find the key of getting the best out of players?
Well, the same as we did everywhere. I mean, you know, players like to play in a good team, and we always had a way that we could get decent players. We went to Berwick. You know, Jim had been at Gallifrey, East of Scotland League. I was here at Musselburgh in the Junior League, and we picked 2 or 3 players that enhanced the team there and made the team better. And the other thing is, I got them, they trained at Berwick, so you had to get a bus down to Berwick. Some of them lived in West Lothian. We changed the training to Musselburgh, just down at Fisher Links. I've managed that a lot of places.
You're not daft,
couldn't hear my hoosh, you know. And we got the team together. We changed things. We brought Yogi. He was a centre half. Put him up front. Jim probably told you this. And with Ralph Callaghan playing off him, and we got guys called Scott Sloan for the North English League, and they all went and done well, and the team gelled. And we went 21 games without defeat. And it shows you how far adrift they were at the bottom of the league. We still finished second bottom. So, you know, but we did great. We did great. We got things going. Everything was buzzing. And a good time at Berwick.
By the way, what a great grounding into your coaching career to coach somebody like John Hughes so early. That must have prepared you for the rest of your coaching career now.
Yeah. Was
he still the same back then as a young player?
Yeah, he was fantastic. His enthusiasm for the game was absolutely incredible. He had a will about him. Wanted to train, wanted to work, wanted to learn. Man as a heart, you know, he was. You know, some of the things he did were incredible. But
what would he do?
Well, every time Yogi gets a couple of drinks, his trousers come off, you know.
Sounds like my missus, actually.
No mind. But he was great, and he's one of the best players I've ever had to do with, and he's also one of the best people I've ever had to do with. If you're in trouble, he would help you, and it was great for us as we moved on. You know, we went to Falkirk and that, we got Yogi there, and it was a fantastic person to have.
And you said the hardest player you've had as well?
Hardest player. You know, if there's another world war, get in his trench because you've got a chance of winning it. Because, I mean, Yogi would go through that wall across there to heed the ball. You know, he would go through anything. It was incredible. And some of the games he played, and I think Jim told you last week, I mean, I think the first 4 centre halves that played against him went off with facial injuries. You know, he was as hard as nails. And he got a transfer to Swansea, £70,000.
Wow. And what was his line? I love that line. He says, I was a what? I was a altar boy.
Yeah. I used to say to me, his claim to fame, he was an altar boy in the Borstal. But I mean, Yogi come for Leith. He was brought up round about the Duckers world there, and he had to probably learn to fight when he was young, and he could handle himself.
Brilliant. Making that move to full time, did you feel like you had to adapt as a coach when you went full time?
Well, I mean, the difference is instead of working at the training twice a week, you had to do it 5 times a week, you know, and something in the afternoon as well. But I think by the time we got to Falkirk, you know, our confidence was up a bit. You've got to have enough confidence to do that job. And we went there, Falkirk were on a real low. Yeah. You know, the team had fell apart, and we had to start building for the start. And I think we lost our first 4 games at Falkirk. And at that time, we were banned for the dugout. We got banned at Berwick for a year.
Why?
For disputing a throw-in. At that time, it was a £1,000 ban, and I think £1,000 in a year's ban. I think.
What did you call the ref? Tell us.
Well, it was a boy called Sandy Roy up at Montrose actually, and he sent us to the stand. But the stand at Montrose is only a seat behind the dugout, you know. So, but I mean, it was a nightmare to start with at Falkirk. But we changed things, and we got good players up there. Good players. Worked hard to get good players, you know, people like Tommy McQueen for West Ham first team player. Imagine Falkirk trying to get a West Ham first team player. We got Alec Taylor, really good player. We got Brian Rice for Nottingham Forest.
Chipper, what a player he was.
Chipper,
how was he as a guy?
Great lad. He's a great lad, Chipper.
Mo Johnson came to Falkirk.
Aye.
How did you find dealing with big personalities like him?
He's one of the best players I've ever had to deal with. He was absolutely outstanding as a lad. He was great with the youngsters. You know, I thought, you know, he's got to be a bit of prima donna. Nothing like a prima donna. Wanted to play, he didn't want to stop training, as long as you had the ball out, like. Wasn't too keen on running down the terrace and that. But he loved playing games, you couldn't bring him off the pitch. And he did great for us. He was outstanding for us. When we got him, we got him from Hearts. I think he had fell with Tommy. I don't know if Tommy was a bit intimidated, to be honest, but when he come to us, he was great. He travelled in the car with Yogi and
imagine that motor.
Neil Oliver, Big John Clark. Right, it was a great motor, and he did really, really well for us. When we got him, he lost a wee bit of pace. We used to play him a wee bit in that inside left position, and he was great. He was great for us, and he was a smashing boy. He fitted in lovely. And I think that. See when you bring a player like that, or when we went to Hearts and had the likes of John Robertson, the last thing you've got to do is try to tell them how to play the game, right? Me and Jim knew they were good players, and all you had to do was bring out the best in them. Get the best in Maurice Johnson. Yeah. Let him play his way, because his way was a top way, right? Same with John Robertson. Don't try and tell them how to play, because they know more about how they play than we do, and that's what we did with them. That's how we got these boys to play.
Brilliant. See how you said like Tommy at Hearts was intimidated them. Were you and Jim never intimidated by big names?
No, I don't think you can be. I think that, and as you move on, you get more confidence. You know, we did really well at Falkirk and Hearts, and you can't be intimidated by players. If you're intimidated by players, you can't do the job properly. You know, so I treated the players at Hearts and Bradford the same as I treated the players at Musselburgh.
So you would have no hesitations in going through Mo Johnson or John Hughes? Nah? No.
I had no hesitation about that whatsoever, and they all took it. All the good pros take that. Yeah. All the good pros take it, and they sit and think, I'll show them. That was Jim. Jim's the most frightening prospect I've ever come across in my life. You know, and he got them at half time. I mean, I did the team talking up before the game, but at half time, if things weren't going well, Jim was in their face as well. And he had a snarl about them. And I knew, I used to cower in the dressing room at half time.
Is he scary?
And he was great at it. As a man manager, he was great. And he knew how to get the best out of these players. And yeah, Morris Johnson, Yogi Hughes, the lot.
Brilliant. Right, you're flying. Obviously wanting to leave Falkirk. Not wanting to leave, but offers came in. Is it true the chairman faked a heart attack?
George Filson. Well, I wasn't in the boardroom when it happened, but I think he maybe did. George was a character as well. But, you know, we'd been 5 years at Falkirk and done ever so well, you know, really good. And 5 years is a long time.
Yeah.
I remember when I was talking about 5 years, when Dick Advocate came to Rangers, we were his first game actually, and he says to me and Jim, how long have you been here at Hearts? Well, this is 5 years. He says, never more than 3. 3 out.
Yeah?
Yeah, people get fed up with you after 3. So we had been 5 at Falkirk, and it was time to move on and got to the Hearts. It was certainly not a hardship. It was a dream come true.
Yeah. Did Chris Robinson say something to you in the first meeting? This is Laurie Ann that's told me all this by you.
What about?
I know you're a Hibs fan.
Yeah, he did. Aye. No, he said, "Are you a Hibs fan?" And I says, "No, now." But it was a dream come true to go to the Hearts. You know, when you consider that was 1995, I was still here in 1988. So 7 years later, we moved on to one of the biggest clubs in Scotland.
Yeah.
And I mean, we took over a poor side. They had been kept in the league on the last day of the 2 previous seasons. So we were taking on something that needed a lot of attention.
Yeah. Jim says that you had to get rid of some well-established players. How did they respond to that?
Well, we did. Eventually, we did. I mean, when we got there, there was about 6 or 7 players still playing in the team that had lost the league in 1986.
Wow.
Which isn't right. You need more a turnover of players than that. I mean, these were all good players, but we tried to phase them out. We phased them out gradually. I mean, for instance, John Robertson was still in the team in 1998 when we won the cup. He was on the bench.
Yeah.
Gary Mackay played in the 1997 League Cup final. So it's not as if we got rid of them right away. The likes of Craig Levine, he had to retire. He'd done his knee again. So we had all them: Craig Levine, John Cahoon. Henry Smith. We brought Henry back in goals. He was 40 at the time. But we had to freshen up. And one of the reasons that they got us was because they knew what we had did at Falkirk in the same sort of position, bringing in fresh players with the contacts we had, that we could change it.
See, when you first went to Hearts, was there a set goal that you had? Was it a cup you wanted to win? Was it to finish second, third in the league? Did you actually...
No, when we first went to Hearts, our ambition was to stay there for a wee while, and not get the sack, because we didn't start very well. The thing about being at Hearts, you're more in the spotlight, and the expectations are a lot more at Hearts than they were at Falkirk. You've got to live up to the expectations. But by the time we got to Hearts, we were ready for that. We were ready for the expectations there.
Did you get slaughtered at the start when you weren't doing well, with the fans on your back?
No, the supporters were always really good to us at Hearts. I think the supporters by that stage had come to accept the fact that the team that they had been supporting needed broken up.
Yeah.
Great players like Sir Robertson, Mackay and Craig Levine and all these boys, the supporters knew that their time was up, and they knew it needed finish, and they got right behind us. I mean, Jim had been Hearts for 15 years as a player, so I think he was always destined to get that job. No, I can't say we ever got any stick for the supporters at all, no.
How was Big Levine to deal with? Hard work?
Well, we didn't have him very long, but yeah, I mean, I would have thought that... unfortunately, he'd done his knee again, and Craig Levine was a really good player, but I think it might have caused us 1 or 2 problems.
What, just by an opinion,
Yeah, well, I mean, he's always been opinionated, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's always been opinionated. I mean, no that he caused us really any problems. I think he played a couple of games for us. But, I mean, Craig has got the reputation of having his say, isn't he? And really, you know, there was only 2 people going to have their say at Tynecastle. It was me and Jim.
Love that, yes. Just on the 98 Cup final, talk us through your memories that day. Everyone that comes on say it was involved, so it was probably the best of their career.
Yeah, the whole week was great because we went down to England. We took the players away down to England because the Scottish press all just going about Rangers and Celtic all the time, and it would have been Rangers. So we took them down there, we'll come back, and we stayed at Dunblane. My binding memory is, I think, the night we stayed at Dunblane's, the night Frank Sinatra died. I remember that. But anyway, I was slying watching that, the tributes to Frank. But no, we stayed at Dunblane and we went in, and there was a change that day because when we arrived at the Parkhead in the bus, every game I'm always first up and out the bus. And I got up to get out and all the players right by me. And I thought, well, aye, wee bit different here today, you know. And actually, in that game, I didn't think we played very. We'd played a lot better against Rangers, but we'd worked all week that week, you know, and prepared properly. And we decided. Jim and I had a philosophy that we always picked a team, or Jim always picked a team to win, no pick the team no to lose, and we always did that. But we'd played Rangers 3 or 4 times that season. They beat us all the time, but we were the best team, but we couldn't beat them. So we thought, well, let's change this. Let's change the philosophy. And we played 4-3-3, show them in the pitch, keep them tight in the middle of the park, and we'll have a go at the end. And here we score after a minute and a half. And I thought, what do we do now? And we were at them all the time. The second half, you know, we scored again, and we held out to win. You know, if it went much longer, we might not win that. But coming back to Tynecastle on the Saturday night was just fantastic. You know, people in nutcases like Fulton and that on top of the bus. I think David Weir was there, which is out of
character. You would never think David Weir being there.
No, he was up there as well. But the Sunday was the best day because there were 250,000 people in the streets of Edinburgh that day. You know, we come for the City Chambers down at Tynecastle. And even thinking about it now, Simon, you know, it brings my hair on the back of my neck. You know, to be on a bus with people like that adore the team. And it was great, and you know, to do it for the supporters was fantastic because the Hearts supporters are great and they get right behind the team when the team's doing things the right way. Yeah. And it was just a fantastic experience, and something I'll never ever forget.
See, just on the '98 team, who was the players that you liked personally the best? Fulton.
That team, I liked all the players in that team because we had finally honed it down to about 16 or 17 players that we wanted. And every player in that team, our goalkeeper and back four were all internationalists. Gilles was a French international, back four, Gary Naismith eventually. We had Colin Cameron in the middle of the park with Fulton and Salvatore. Thomas Flogel, Austrian internationalist, Neil McCann. You know, so, and they were all good boys. We had the 2 hungriest football players in that team that I've ever come across in my life. Colin Cameron and Neil McCann. Hungry boys, right?
I thought you were going to say Fulton with the sizer.
No, he was.
Yeah,
well, that was his problem with egg chocolate biscuits.
So Cameron and McCann were the 2 hungry boys,
even at the training. I mean, Mickey, Colin Cameron, he was the biggest monard you'll ever come across in your life, by the way. I fell out with him just most days. But he was fantastic to have in the team. A fantastic player, box to box. Never beaten. Same with Neil McCann, wee winner, hungry wee boy. Great to have. You know, we had really, really good players in that team. That team, as far as I'm concerned, will win the league now.
You think they would win the
They
league?
were good players. We had David Weir and Paul Ritchie. Yeah. Good players. You know?
So see how you said that about Cameron and McCann, would you have regular arguments with them in training?
No, Neil so much. Mickey. Mickey. Everybody fell out with Mickey, you know.
Just what, the standard that wasn't good enough, he would correct?
Yeah, I mean, we used to do, you know, the 10 passes are a goal or a goal's a goal.
Yeah.
You know, and we were playing at Pinky one day and Big Slim was playing Dave McPherson and it was a 10th pass and he had a chance to shoot and he shot. And wee Mickey said, you should have passed that ball. And Big Dave, who never loses his temper, had him with the throw. And that's what he did. But I'll tell you, I wish he was playing now. I wish he was playing for the Hearts now because he's exactly what they need. He's a great wee player.
Is that what Hearts are missing now? Players like McCann?
They're missing somebody like that. You know, he got box to box and he never gave in. And one thing about a football team is you've got to balance it out, and we balanced that team out. And I remember we ended up with Salvatore, Cameron and Fulton. But we started with Cameron, Salvatore and Fulton, and we played at Wraith Rovers one day in a cup tie, and they're a sitting midfield player, and we wanted to push somebody on top of him. So we changed Salvatore and the Cameron in it, like that. It just came for us. Good players, all good players. Stefan Dan was a really, really good player.
He was a good player, striker.
He was, and I always remember, that Stefan played for Metz, and I went to watch him. Metz is on the France-Luxembourg border, so after training on the Tuesday, I got a flight to London, out to Strasbourg. Agent picked me up, went all the way up there. He wasn't playing, he was on the bench. And I thought, oh, Jesus. But anyway, he came in the last 20 minutes, and I just looked at him and I thought, oh, you can see the way you're running there, and he'd been at the French Academy and that, so he was the best player I've ever seen spinning the centre half and getting round. He's the best at that. But they were all good players in that team, and all good lads. See if Lockie picks up the phone today, he could get them all to come across here if they were needed.
He said that.
Oh, that's true.
Would any of them have a go back at your gym and team talks, or at half time or at full time? Would any of them have that in their locker with the
Well, they would always, some of them had their say. We never objected to that, but most of them just took it on the chin. Really,
Good player, as you said.
You've got, like say, David Weir there, who was a common character. He was a great player, by the way.
Yeah.
He was such a good football player and such an intelligent player. And I think that he didn't start playing till he was 22. And I think he got the benefit of that because he played till he was over 40.
Yeah.
Where you get, like say, Nazy at the Hearts here, we brought him in the team at 17, and he's now 32. He's played for 15 years, so he's got a lot of miles in his clock, where David didn't he?
Brilliant. Just last bit on the final, the scenes, celebrations, some of the best memories of your life?
Oh, without doubt. There's no doubt about it. When we went back to Tynecastle on the Sunday, from the parade, the place was buzzing. It was fantastic. It was a great memory and something that nobody can ever take away from us.
Are you one that would take a few beers with the players?
Yeah, that night we did, yeah. But in general, it's a bad idea to have beers with players. Bad idea. Yeah, because I mean, once you get loose tongues, they're not about to say things that they shouldn't say, and I think the Scotland ladies manager found that out, didn't they?
Yeah.
You're better. I mean, because at the end of the season, we always went to Magaluf.
I've heard.
And, we ended up going in separate hotels because we didn't want to be near the players and that. Because, when somebody gets a drink, maybe it changes their personality. I think that it could have happened, so we made sure it didn't happen.
Big question for Magaluf: were you shorts or trunks?
Oh, shorts, huh?
No got the thing for trunks.
No.
Brilliant. Lockie said obviously how good a squad it was. I think the 90 squad, he said, is especially. Who was charged of keeping surveillance of them? So see, like trips away in Magaluf, would Jim designate you to kind of keep an eye on them?
No, I never kept an eye on anybody. They just go on with it. That was a week where they could do what they wanted, so we just let them get on with it. I mean, I think that there was enough sensible ones there. In fact, maybe there was only one sensible one, David Weir, right, when I think about it. They never ever done anything bad. I mean, the one set Stevie Fulton on fire. I don't know if you heard about that one. And he had to run in the sea because he was wrapped with toilet paper, and somebody lit it. So he had to run in the sea before he got burnt to death. But apart from that, I think, I do remember one thing, that when we won the cup, we went across the air, and Dundee were there at that time. And I seen Stevie going round shaking all their hands and thanking them. And I says, what were you doing there? He says, I was thanking them for the points we were going to get off them next season. I says, you shouldn't have said that. And see, the first time we played them at Tynecastle last season, they beat us. And they were the cassettes were blaring out after the game, and I says, that's you.
Brilliant. Lockie asked us to ask you about joining in training. Was it an incident with Wanjo?
Yeah, well, that's the last time I joined in. We were training at Tynecastle. Well, it was a Sunday morning. It was with the reserves, actually, and went round to Roseburn to train. I was playing in the game, and I went down to close wee Wanjo down, and he hit the ball, and it hit my hand, my fingers, and it broke 4 bones in my hand. And I had to go to the hospital and that. It's the sorest thing I've had in my life.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you something. If I'd had 2 hands, I'd have throttled them. it was absolutely excruciating pain, and I brought 4 bones. It put me out of commission for a wee while. You know?
Brilliant. See, just last bit on Magaluf as well. Was Jimmy Calderwood regular over there as well?
Oh, Jimmy was, aye. I've never seen anybody drink.
You wouldn't be able to tell.
Vodka and fresh ons like he drinks it. He was brilliant. He was great, a great lad, Jimmy. He had a place across there, a place in Santa Ponza, but I think he sold it. He sold it now. And he was there every year. I was there the year he fell out with the goalkeeper. I was in the pub with him that
What
night.
happened there?
I forget the goalie's name. Been at Aberdeen for years.
Langfield.
Jamie Langfield. Yeah, they fell out outside the pub and
That's brilliant.
it caused a ruckus, and I don't know if he suspended him actually. But Jimmy was great, and all the teams used to go there.
So would other managers hang about together?
Yeah.
What are their names?
I mean, we used to, when we went there, Dunfermline were there all the time. Bert Peart was the manager, Dick Campbell was the assistant, and Bert was my manager at Wraith Rovers, so I knew Bert. And he was actually Jim's coach at the Hearts, and Dick was there, and we used to always meet in the veranda in the hotel next to us and that. And most of the teams went out there at that time. It was fantastic, and I still go.
Do you still got Magaluf?
Aye.
Love that.
It's great.
Oh, Cat's
There's a golden oldies corner, of course, you know.
Brilliant, man. What about, was there any in particular that used to do your nothing players-wise?
Not really. I mean, in the latter stages, when we went back to the Hearts, you know, under Romanov, there was 1 or 2 there that were a wee bit different. Could have been a problem, but...
But you nipped it in the bud?
Well, there was one in particular we couldn't nip in the bud, to be honest with you, know, and that was, I think you've had him on this programme here. And,
who is that?
Your Michael, wasn't it?
Oh, Michael Stewart, was he hard work?
Aye.
What sort of stuff would he do, just moan all the time?
No, we didn't have him for long, and he was injured for a bit of the time, so he never caused us much of a bother. But I mean, Michael's got an opinion, innit? That's why he's doing what he's doing, and best of luck to him.
What about other managers, dugouts? Was it Jackie McNamara Senior you had a run-in with?
Yeah, I've only really had a run-in with 1 or 2 people at the dugout, because I mean, you know, the last thing we bothered about was our dugout. But I mean, there are 1 or 2 occasions. The Jackie McNamara thing, it was my first derby actually. You know, Easter Road, and the ball was rolling. The ball was rolling in the dugout, and I thought, if I get this and pick it up, we may get a quick throw. But it sort of went into their dugout. By the time the ball came, I was in their dugout trying to retrieve the ball. And Jackie got a grip of me, and there was a wee set too, but I never got sent to the stand, and it was Hugh Dallas was the referee.
Right.
And I had to go to the meeting after it, and they asked him, why did you not send Billy to the stand? And he says, well, I thought Billy was one of the Camus members in that dugout. I thought it might help the situation. Whoever got a top job after that, I'll never know. But yeah, no problem after that. Jackie had a pub in Musselburgh at the time, and I went to see him the next day, and it was done and dusted that. And I had the last spat I had was with Derek McInnes, you know, at Tynecastle. I don't know if you've seen it in the video. And it was the time I was there with Lockie. And you know, we had that young team, and we were drawing 1-1, and we hadn't won a game, and we got a free kick, so out in halfway line the last minute, and I went out to the thing to get in the box. So I put in the box and we scored. So by this time I'm in front of the Aberdeen dugout, and I went like this, no the dugout, but Derek grabbed me. He got a grip of me, and I've had to fight him off, you know. And we both got sent to it was the last minute, we got sent to the dressing room. He was standing in the tunnel waiting on me, and I thought, well, I'm going to have to fight him here. But they locked me in the physio's room, and we went and we peeled it and got
Think
up
you would have
there.
took him?
Sorry?
Think you would have leathered them?
Well, I'm not so sure about that. I think Derek could maybe look after himself. Quick glad he didn't attack me again. But no, I would have go at him. But since then, I mean, after that, I got on deal with Derek. I think he's done a great job. He's a winner and wants to win in the dugout, and never any hard feelings with these things really. And You know, I never hold a grudge with that. I mean, one of the worst, him when I go to that dug was one of the nicest blokes you'll meet is Mixu Pataline, and Mixu was always barking and shouting at the other dugout, you know.
We're going to go into Romanov.
Yeah, well, I didn't have that much to do with him. I only met him about 3 or 4 times. But I mean, the guy was off his head, really. You know, let's be honest about it.
See, Jim's story, I couldn't. I was not.
I know. It's. I had to address him as well that day. I was instructed that I had to tell him, congratulations. It was in Berlin, wasn't it? But I mean, we were lucky when we went to Hearts under Romanov because it was coming to the end of his time. I think the worst time had been previous to us getting there when he was picking the team and had a woman with a stick that if it tapped you on your shoulder you were playing and all this kind of rubbish, and you had to substitute somebody after a certain amount of time. We never, you know, we had 1 or 2 things with him, but he never...
Can you tell us what?
Yeah, I mean, I remember one day, you know, we're playing Rangers at Ibrox, 12:30 kick-off, and I got to Rickerton and Jim was sitting there, says, the players were on the bus by this time, Romanov's right-hand man, I forget his name. Sergei.
Oh, Sergei, that's it.
Sergei, being on the phone, Mr. Romanov doesn't want you to play Zalukas today. And Jim says, well, I've got to play him, we'll not get any centre-halves. Mr. Romanov says, you can't play him today. And I thought, well, why not? Like, he just can't. If you play him today, he may walk away from this club. So I had to go and get Mares off the bus. And Mares, being Lithuanian, knew the score anyway. Knew that could happen. Wow. I don't know what I don't know if did he have a bet in Rangers that day. I don't know. I don't know. But we had to play without him. We had to put 2 midfield players at the back.
What about when Jim had to go and watch him ballroom dancing?
I know. I know when he won the tournament because he owned the station. I mean, it was a wee, I don't know, 5'5" or he wasn't a big boy, but you could see that all the players for Lithuania and that were all a bit wary of him. You know? Right. I mean, he was a powerful man in Lithuania, you know, and I think powerful men can be dangerous men. But he's not there now. He's on the run in Russia, isn't he?
Oh, is he, right?
Yeah, there's a warrant out for his arrest.
But see the ballroom dancing, what is it? Jim had to go over and watch him ballroom dance in the office?
Well, as in his office block in Lithuania, I was never there, like, but in the basement, they had a basketball court, because he practiced basketball as well. And in the basketball courts when he used to practice his dancing. So Jim had to sit and watch it for half an hour. Yeah, I mean, it's incredible, but I mean, I've got to say that I was at Kilmarnock all the time Romanov was in charge at Hearts, and it wasn't a good time. I know Hearts won 2 cups at that time, but it wasn't a good time. Hearts lost a lot of their reputation. They did, and they brought players in. The team changed every week. They brought boys and it dived all over the place, and you know, for a club of the stature of Hearts, it didn't do them any good.
Would that annoy you looking in to the side of her?
It did annoy me. Yeah. It did annoy me because they're a great football club with great supporters, and they should never have been brought down to that level.
Would you ever pull Romanov up and say anything to him that he would not?
No, I might have had my shot.
Did you just keep away from him?
No, when he came in the office and he would sit there. He could talk English, but he never spoke to us in English. He used to go through Sergei. He was pleasant enough, you know. He was pleasant enough in that, but you could see they were all intimidated about him.
Was there any moments that you thought like this has gone too far?
Not really. I mean, he wanted Rudy Skitchell left out one day at St Johnstone.
Jim was saying
you know, because he thought the team would intimidate him. I don't know what that was all about in that, and he wanted Maris Lucas left out another day, you know, in the office, and Jim we wouldn't have it, and he says, right, okay, I will give him through Sergei, I will give him another chance, and but he must play well this week, you know. I mean, it must have been some problem to handle when he was at his pump at Hearts. It must have been some problem, but it wasn't such a problem to us. But I mean, when we got offered that, we were only left Kilmarnock a matter of days when Hearts got in touch, and you know, we sort of thought, well, going back to Hearts is great, but one thing is certain, you're going to get the sack.
Jim says you obviously took the training, you told me earlier, and Jim says that Romanov used to ask to join in training. That must have done your nutting there.
Aye. At the end of that, it was just for the cameras and everything, you know.
So would you have to stop your sessions to let him?
No, he did it at the end.
Right.
But I mean, at the end, you want to work with somebody in that, and he was floating about there. I mean, the guy was incredible. It was incredible. I mean, I don't know. I take it he must have had money at some time, but he ended up just about putting Hearts out of business.
Did he ever ask you to coach him?
No.
I want him on the road.
Well, he maybe did in Lithuania, but I never knew about that.
Oh, brilliant. How did you feel when you wanted to move you both on? Finished third in the league, decent start to the new season, could you believe it?
Yeah, we only played one league game. We drew Ibrox, should have beat Rangers that day, and then we went to, I think it was Hungary or somewhere, and played in European tie, and we drew there. So, we'd finished third in the league, but he wanted a foreign coach, didn't he?
He wanted you to bring in a foreign coach.
Well, he wanted Jim to bring in a foreign coach.
And get rid of you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he wanted to get rid of me, but he wanted a foreign coach, and Jim said, well, you had a foreign coach before, and you got me to replace him, and Jim wouldn't have it. And I think that was the beginning of the end, I think.
Right.
Because he had to have his own way. I think if he didn't get his own way, I think it was just a matter of time till you went.
So did you have a conversation with him when you were leaving?
No, he wasn't there. He just did it through his Sergei. Actually, I think Sergei, to be fair, was a bit miffed about it. I think he wanted to stay. Well, we're doing really well.
So what is it? Just Jim just phoned you up and said that's us away?
No, he took us into the office at Tynecastle. Sergei and that. Mr. Romanov wants you to go. So that was it.
See, like see when Jim was over there, like watching him dancing up, would Jim just phone you up after it saying like you'll never fucking believe what's just happened?
You want to see what I've had to watch here today?
Would you be in your house pissing yourself laughing?
Yeah. I mean, we knew that kind of thing could happen. But I mean, it's hard to believe the things he did there.
Could you have a laugh about it though?
Oh, you got to laugh about it. I had to laugh about it. I mean, obviously the Sir Lucas thing, taking him off the bus and that, we didn't find that very funny.
No.
But when you look back at it now, it was incredible.
Difficult times at Kelly, that must have been hard with financial. Was it Michael Johnson there as well?
Yeah, well, we were 7.5 years at Kilmarnock. A long time to be at a club. Twice as long as what Dick Advac can't tell us to go. It was great. We're 7.5 years. 5 of them were really good at Kilmarnock. The last couple of years, Michael took over as chairman, and he didn't have a clue, and it caused us problems. And the club wasn't the same. There wasn't the same atmosphere and spirit about the place, and it was just a matter of time before we went there.
What about favourite memories of Kelly other than Kevin Kyle's belly?
I just think that Killie was a really good football club, a good place to be. It's a lovely ground down there. All the people were great. We got in the top 6, I think 5 or 6 times out the 7 years we were there. And we turned over good players. When Stephen Naismith there, we had Chris Boyd there, really good players.
How was Boydie?
Well, Boydie...
Stevie Felton's words were thick as shit.
Well, when I see him on the telly now talking eloquently, I think, you've had a coach. You've been tutored here, because he certainly wasn't Mr. Brains. I mean, we had him and Colin Nish there at the same time.
Oh, Big Nish, I know Big Nish,
and they were they were incredible, the two of them. They're good players, by the way. I mean, Colin Nish was a really good player, and Boydie was a top goal scorer. But they're certainly one of the brightest. And I remember, we used to go to Choco in Italy for pre-season training, and Boydie and Nishi were rooming together, which wasn't the best idea. And we were about 5 nights in, and my door goes. It's a stand at the door. Billy, what a complaint here. We go down for our tea at night, and somebody's coming into our room. I said, what's happening like? Well, we come back, our bed's turned down, the curtains are drawn. I says, it's the maid. It's the maid.
Nah, no chance.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
But I'm going to tell you that Boydie was an ace goal scorer, and Boydie was a really good lad, a nice person, 100%er, right? At the training you were talking about 10 passes a goal or goals a goal. It doesn't matter where he was. It doesn't matter if it was a 10th pass. He shot. You know, he loved shooting at the training, and he was great. He was great. He was a good lad, and he got a good move in it. Because I used to say to him, Boydie, if you didn't put more into your game, linking with these passes, you're not going to. You end up getting a fortune at Middlesbrough, didn't he? So who was right? You know, Boydie was right because a goal scorer. And, you know, Nazy was a good player as well. We brought him in. Hard as nails, great in the air, great attitude, training, you know, training and games were the same to him, and he went on and had a great career. He's a lovely boy, Stephen Naismith.
Right, Hibs. After you left Hearts the second time you ended up at Hibs that season, was there any worries about going over to the other side?
Well, you know, I was born and brought up in Musselburgh, and it was all Hibs and Hearts supporters in Musselburgh.
Do you remember getting the phone call?
I was in Tenerife, and the Hibs phoned me.
With the trunks on?
I was in my bed actually. They phoned me up, well,
By Jim, alright, sorry.
it was me and Anna was there. And they asked what I was going to do, and I said, well, I don't know, I've just been at the job a few days, and he says, well, you know, we're interested in talking to you. And I met them when I come back, and they up at Pathair actually, and it was Colin Calderwood was the manager, and Colin wasn't doing well. And I didn't get a promise I was going to get the job as manager, but things, you know, I was in for a shout, but they wanted me to try and help Colin. Yeah. Colin's a lovely boy,
Is he?
Great lad, and a nice person. Nothing like he was a player. He was a real hard-nut as a player, and he was too soft as a manager, and you know. I don't know what Hibs ever brought me there for, because I actually didn't do anything. He had a fitness coach, and he had another Gareth Evans and that. And after a few days, I said, Colin, why do you bring me here? I said, in fact, what are you doing here? I said, because we didn't do anything. We're just watching the training. I said, you should be taking it. I take the training. That's what I do. So things changed a wee bit after that. But it was too soft, Colin. Good lad. Had too many players that needed sorted out, and he didn't do it. But I thoroughly liked him, and I liked working with him. A likeable person. And then when I went to the Hibs, you know, I'd been at Hearts quite a long time, in the 2 spells I was there. And I always got the feeling that when Hearts played Hibs, we always thought we were going to win. When I went to Hibs, I got the impression Hibs hoped they might.
Really, right?
You know, that was the mindset at the time. And that didn't change till Neil Lennon changed that mindset at Hibs. He changed the mindset because neither Colin nor Pat changed the mindset there. You know, and there was a feeling within the building. I just got that vibe that they didn't think they were as good as Hearts.
What about players?
Change now.
What about players-wise? Anyone that you had a lot of time for at the Hibs players at that time?
Yeah, well, there was some interesting characters there at that time. You know, we had Gary O'Connor was there. And
come on, give us a Gaz O'Connor story. I love the man.
Well, I've got to say, I know he didn't have a great reputation, and he was a bit of a slaver at times. but
that's you've got a great way of describing people.
But I found him great. I found him a really decent boy. He tried his hardest all the time. He had scored goals, and I had not one complaint about Gary O'Connor. I know that maybe he's a bit Kevin Kylish again, that he says things he shouldn't, but he no problem whatsoever, and thoroughly liked him. Yeah. Thoroughly liked him.
Was he funny?
He was funny, aye. He didn't mean to be funny. But it was funny because he said things he spoke about things he didn't know anything about. But he was great. He was a good lad, and Lee, you know, Lee
Griffiths.
Yeah, well, what a great striker of the ball he is. But I mean, Lee's another one. He says things he shouldn't. He does, you know. If people. He used to take corners at Hibs in the right. If people shouted at him, he used to react to them, and we used to try and get him to stop to do that and that. But he was a right good player, you know. Yeah. He was a good football player, and one of the best strikers at the ball. The 2 best strikers I ever had were John Roberts and Rudy Scatchell, and Lee Griffiths is as good as them at striking a ball. I had a wee fracas with him one day, you know. Well, I had a team talk. It was Pat Fernland, and Pat had a go at him, and he stormed away, and I went after him. And I only had training shoes on because we were just doing a loosen off, and it was a wee bit slippy and I fell. Everybody thought he had hit me, but he hadn't. And he just stormed away, but he was a wee bit petulant at times. But he was all right. He was all right. It's how you handle people, and I tend to be able to get on with boys like that.
Was that maybe the problem that Colin and Pat couldn't deal with these types of characters?
Yeah, I think Colin was too soft to do it. Pat didn't give enough patience for it. You know, you've got to work with these boys and get to talk to them, and you know, bring them round. And that if you think they're good enough players, they're worth bringing round. And Pat always had a player he disliked. I mean, you know, Jimmy Scott.
Yeah, he's mad though, Jimmy Scott.
Yeah, he was mad, aye. And Pat used to go on about he was disrupting the dressing room. And I said, Pat, he ain't no disrupting anything. He's a everybody laughs at him.
He's a good laugh.
I said, a good laugh. I said, yeah, but he suspended him. I said, what do you do that for? You know, I said, handle him. Get him round, get him on your side. You know, there's no point. You got players, they're getting paid, they're not going to leave, get them on your side. You got to handle people like that. And me and Jim always try to do that.
Was it frustrating for you having worked with somebody like Jim to then go to these kind of weaker characters? It must have been.
I mean, I'm not saying they weren't knowledgeable about football, but you know, as man managers, they weren't in the same class as Jim Jeffries. Nowhere near it. And you know, the culmination, the Hibs thing was the cup final. You know, I remember we beat Aberdeen on the Saturday, and Hearts were playing Celtic on the Sunday, and I didn't want Hearts to get to the final because I knew that, you know, it was Jim and I that brought all the Hearts players there. We formed that team, and you know, Hearts beat Celtic that day. Big Beattie scored the penalty, and it was one of the worst days I ever had in football. That drubbing, and Hearts could have beat Hibs more that day. And one of the reasons was, I mean, there was too many lone players. Plus, we had played a diamond against Dunfermline. Jim was manager at Dunfermline, and we relegated them that night, Easter Road.
Right.
Beat them 4-0. They weren't 4 in it, but won 4-0. And Pat played a diamond that night, and that's what he thought was the answer. And he just played the diamond in the final, and I knew, and I says to him, look, Pat, Hearts 2 fullbacks and their wide men, they're going to give us a big problem here. And I says, Blackie, if you let Blackie dominate the game, which he's going to with the system we're playing, we're going to have problems. And that's what happened, you know. And as I say, we could have got beat a lot more.
How did it all kick off after the game? I think Gaz O'Connor told us it.
Yeah, well, the dressing room wasn't the best place to be after the game. And Pat got sent off at the end, you know, and I had to go.
His glasses were steamed up, weren't they?
Yeah, he went like that to the Hearts supporters, so I had to go at the front of the dugout. Imagine, you know, all the Hearts supporters there and I'm there, and it was very, very difficult. There was problems in the dressing room after it, but I never got involved with that. It wasn't a good day to be involved, I've got to say, and Hibs let their supporters down badly that day.
What about, how did Jim react when you took that Hibs job, sorry?
Well, before I took it, I spoke to Jim about it, you know, because, you know, it's a big thing to do, to go for Hearts to Hibs. But Hibs are a big club, you know, and Jim says, yeah, you've got to go for it. And no problem at all. And I mean, Jim was a big jumbo all his life, but, you know, he says, you've got to go for it. And
did you get a text from him after that final? Or a phone call?
No, I think he was at the final that day. I didn't get a text from him. I didn't take any text from anybody that day. I didn't even in fact, I've never ever watched that game.
Really?
No, I've never watched that game. I didn't want to watch that. You know, I'm party to that result, and I'm not proud of it. And it wasn't one of the best days of my life, that.
And then did you fall out with Pat Fenley?
No, I never fell out with Pat. What happened was that my contract was up at the end of the season, and before the season ended, Pat says to me, I want to keep you, Billy. You know, I'm really happy with everything here. And you know, we got something fixed up in the close season. I'll get the chairman, Rod Petrie, to phone you. So, the summer I never bothered, because I phoned up Pat and said, Rod's no phone. He said, I'll get into him again. And it was the time that Rangers were going into administration, getting put down the leagues. That was the same close season. So we're getting near the start, and I phoned Pat up. He wouldn't answer my phone calls, and then I eventually answered. I said, "Look, Pat, we're starting training shortly. What's the score?" And I'm going to have to let you go, Billy, with the Rangers thing and that. I said, "Well, Pat, that's fair enough. If you told me that before," I said, "because nothing against that. The contract was up. Because I could have went to Dunfermline, with Jim, but they'd been relegated, and I wanted to stay in the top league if I could." And he says, "Well, I've got to get rid of people now." And I says, "Well, Pat, fair enough." I says, "But you should have told me that earlier. You let me down here." And I said, "I never let you down." And that's the last time I spoke to him. Well, I did speak to him. I didn't speak to him for a wee while, but then when I went back to Hearts, Hearts were his last game. Ryan Stevenson scored the winner at Easter Road, and they resigned after the game.
How was that, seeing him again in that sort of situation?
All right. As I say, what's done's done.
Yeah.
No point holding grudges. Wasted time, and we beat them that night in the League Cup. Ryan Stevens scored a cracker, and packed in after that.
Just going to say, you went back to Hearts 2012, 13 to Sislocky, but it was desperate times at the club. How tough was it to see your club like that?
It was, and it was very difficult. I went back without wages,
Oh, did you go back for nothing?
Yeah, I went back for nothing. I got paid later on, but I went back because I wanted to help Lucky, and I'd been twice at the Hearts, and it was great. It's great to be at the Hearts. Anybody that's at the Hearts and management should cherish it, because it's a great place to be. I went and I thought we did extremely well. I thought Lucky did sell it extremely well. We got good boys through. And we just about did. Without the 15-point deduction, we wouldn't have been bottom of the league. Yeah. And I thought that Gary got a real raw deal there.
Do you think he could have been a good manager, Gary Luck?
Yeah, I think he could have been a good manager. It was difficult for him after that. He went to Kilmarnock after that, but Hearts was his club, and that's where he wanted to be. And I thought he got treated. In fact, the two of us didn't get treated really well. There's certain ways to do things, and that wasn't done right. But that's done and dusted now as well. And what bugged me about the whole thing, in the background, when we were working our backsides off trying to get these players to play, and we got them to play, it had already been, or it looked like the deal had been done with Craig Levine and that,
Yeah, behind your back again.
Yeah, which isn't good. But, all done now.
Just last on your managerial roles, I need to ask you about East Fife.
Yeah.
And your after
the
match interview. I absolutely loved it. What happened? You just
the East Fife one. Aye. I mean, I was frustrated. I always, you're always emotional. It was at half time it all started, because when I went to East Fife, they were sitting bottom of the league, but the boys were trying their hardest and working really hard and getting better. And the first time we were 1-9 down. I think it was Stennismuir we were playing, and the boys were coming across. The dugout was at the far side of East Fife at that time, so you had to walk across. So when the players are going off, the crowds, there a section of the crowd booing them. And when I got there, the woman that was making the half-time raffle draw was walking by with a microphone. I thought, geez, I had of that. So I took the microphone, I says to everybody, "These boys are trying their hardest. Now, if anybody's no happy, come to see me and I'll give them their money back."
You said this at half-time on the mic?
Aye, on the mic. I got in the dressing room, I thought, maybe I made a mistake there. But anyway, after the game, it was Stennismuir that released that. I should have got a cut of whatever that was. But yeah, I was so frustrated that the board of directors there were working their backside off and putting as much money as they could, and the players were trying hard. It wasn't me they were shouting out at me, it was the players, but I was trying my hardest, and everybody was trying hard to avoid relegation. And there was a section of the people, just all they were doing was coming to barrack the team, and I felt really frustrated about that, and that's why I did. I've never watched that. My son told me about it, said it had went viral. I didn't even know what viral meant. And I watched the first 10 seconds and thought, I'm not watching that in that case. But I got a big reaction to that.
Jim White, wasn't it? Did Jim White get you on Sky?
Yeah, I was on Sky with that, and I got a lot of things for managers in England and coaches in England saying that well done. That's how we all feel.
Really, right?
We're all scared to do it.
But big managers like.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Ever getting back in, or is that you done?
Well, I think I'm done. I'm the chairman of the Managers and Coaches Association. Right. I'll have to see about that now you're a coach. No, I don't think so. I would love to have went back to the Hearts to help them in their situation, but I don't think that's going to happen. I took my grandson to Musselburgh Windsor 2010s as a granddad, and now I coach the team.
Oh, do you, right?
Aye.
Can't help
It's
yourself,
the hardest job I've ever had in my life. Bring on Stan Collymore and all these
Gary
characters, they're easier to handle than these 9-year-olds. So that's what I do twice a week on a Sunday. And I think Gemini's turn's gone, and really, I think they've got a shelf life in that. I still believe that the way we went about things is the way everybody should be going about things. The possessions become more important than points, which is nonsense. Football philosophies have become more important than winning the games, and it doesn't matter what your football philosophy is. If you want to pass, if you want to play it long, you've got to find a way to win each game. And the problem is people don't change, and they've got to change. They've got to find ways. It's all about winning, and it's no easy.
Just finally, Billy, how do you look back on all the memories you've created over the years?
Great. I've got no regrets. I tried my best. Every day that I ever went into a football club, I did the best for all the clubs I was at, the 3 I played for, and all the ones I've been at since then. And thoroughly enjoyed it.
Brilliant. Great to have you on. Thanks very much, mate.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers, Billy.